Hi everybody, I'm back from a long recess for my channel. I just didn't have the spare time. I've been amassing some different figures and things to open, and I thought with the new year, it's time to come on back and show you some things. Today we're going to open a selection of MacFarlane figures, most of which I received for Christmas, except Ragman. You can see by some dust, he's been sitting here waiting for a video for quite some time. So let's get started. We're going to open up Ragman first because poor guy's been sitting here forever waiting for his turn. This is from the MacFarlane Collector Edition line. I scooped him up in store in person quite some time ago, I think last year. And I know not like the silly last year, it's just now 2026, but like 2024. And he's just been sitting in box because I kept forgetting about him. I think Ragman's a cool character. Being a Jewish golem is really neat. Being a defender of the people. He boasts 22 moving parts of articulation, so we're going to see. They went for a screen printed texture for the patches instead of like a sculpted texture. I think it works. But you think for the collector edition level and the price point, they would go for something that's a little more molded. I'm just freeing him from his little prison here. He's got a bunch of those plastic clothing tags to keep him in place. All right, let's pull him out. A little ASMR crunch. Okay, so here we have Ragman proper. He looks pretty good. He's got a fabric hood for his cloak, fabric cloak. Little dangly bits, right? And then there's actually wire here in his cloak so that you can pose it out flowing behind him, which I think is a pretty cool feature for anyone who has capes, especially if you want them to be in some sort of like leaping pose. It is nice and raggedy because, you know, Ragman would not be, he's made of rags. He's not made of like the finest linens. And we'll take a look at his points of articulation in just a minute here. He also comes with is this a stand for him or this card? Oh, okay, I guess. He comes with a stand for his collectible card. I'm never going to display this. This will go in my binder of collectible cards. This is a waste of plastic. Why not give him more accessories or something? But sure, okay. MacFarlane Collector Edition, Rory Reagan. So yeah, he gets into the suit of souls and becomes Ragman. His two accessories are his little rag torrents here. So you can put them around his hands and have him passing out some judgment, I think. Let's jump to his articulation. Let's look at Ragman's details up close. Here you can see the face sculpt with like the Deadpool style eyes is really good. There's actually some texture where the ears would be. We've got our cloak, and then all of these patchwork details are screen printed basically, or painted. The back is a little lacking. The back has absolutely no painting. But, well, okay, I can't say none. There's a little bit of shading in here, but that's about it. Articulation-wise, the head moves pretty well. We have the shoulders have a pretty good range of motion since there's nothing really in their way. The torso can move a little bit, but it's a little tight. There's not a lot of twisting you can do with him. It's very, very sculpted. Look at these abs. Here we have, for some reason, upper arm, but then also elbow, but then also wrist. So there's a lot going on with these arms. Like the upper arm being separate from the ball joint for the shoulder is weird to me, but sure. Then we have knees at the hips, or I'm sorry, legs at the hips. Knees need a little loosened up, but not too loose because you want to be able to pose them. Ankles and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, right? And of course, here's the cape. You can see all of this burn cut, laser cut, whatever this is. And then the wire is pretty thick, so you can really do kind of whatever you want with it to make it stay. That actually looks really cool. I forgot to mention that Ragman comes with a figure base, not just a base for the collector's card. But getting these out is kind of a pain. I hurt my nails. They always have them like stuck in the back of the inner card, and I just find freeing them to be kind of difficult. But here's his base with a peg, so you can pose them and get them to balance a little bit better. Cool figure. Glad I picked it up. You know, it's nothing fancy to write home about, but it is cool. Moving on, let's look at another DC figure. This one I received for Christmas. It is the MacFarlane Aquaman Gold label. Solid gold. It's Aquaman's Endless Winter, which is the storyline. Black and white accent edition. This was a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive. I like to order a lot of my Godzilla figures off of Big Bad Toy Store. They burned me on some anime stuff like Xenogears figures, but I've never been burned on the Godzilla stuff, even if I had to wait extra long for it to come in. So I'm pretty happy with everything I've bought from them. I'm glad we supported. I don't know if this was bought from the store or what. This is a limited edition to 3,010 pieces. Who comes up with the arbitrary number 3,010? I don't know, but here we go. This one just slides on out. Very luxe looking box. As you can see, everything's packaged really nicely, but I'm going to ruin it and pull it out because I like to display my figures, if you can't tell, out of the box for the most part. There's like one or two I've kept in. Oh, of course he's fastened in there. I'm going to get my tiny little surgical scissors here and remove him. Things are popping out everywhere. All right, now he's free to join us. So we can see he's big, he's beefy. He's got the long hair and shaggy beard look, which is not my favorite look for Aquaman, but like he looks tough. And this is for people who think Aquaman's like, you know, the worst. I love his fins on the back of his legs there, like his shark fin boots. Those are pretty cool. We'll get into articulation in just a moment, but let's look at some accessories, shall we? Let me free the trident here. So here we have his trident. So his only pops of color are the yellow of the trident, the belt, and the necklace. And you can see here, should fit pretty nicely into his hand with a little bit of work on the thumb. Maybe. Do you want to hold your trident? I think so. Man, is there like a secret I should know to how to get figures to hold their stuff better? I feel like I struggle every time. Then once it's in, it's good. You know what? We'll just jump to it being already in his hand. Okay, comes with this luxe base, which has the Aquaman logo and then, or the Atlantean seal, and then a peg to stand. And then your collector's card with, I guess, also another card stand. This one is at least branded to Aquaman. It is the certificate of authenticity. I have number 1402 out of 3010, so that's kind of cool. A little different than your traditional collector's card. So like, whatever. Since it's limited edition numbered, I think that's kind of neat. Let's look at his articulation. Here's the up close on my guy Aquaman. You can see the sculpt is very, very detailed. As usual, it's what I come to expect from most MacFarlane figures. Lots of detailed work in just like the eyebrows. Head doesn't really move super well. It does a little, but the hair's kind of making it a little tough. All of these individual scales sculpted in the outfit are really cool. Like lots of detail here. The muscles, the scaling, everything. Shoulders, you can see have a pretty decent range of motion. You can roll them up, and they have the same thing going on. The upper shoulder, I guess that's something they've been doing lately, and I just haven't noticed the way they're articulating those. And then here you have elbows and wrists, kind of. They're not really, I guess. Wrist is a little tight. Torso, really can't do much here. It's the same thing I run into with like the Gremlins and stuff. All these scales, they just, and the bulkiness, you really have to force it. And I don't want to break anything. He's got a, okay. And then legs at the hips. Knees are pretty tight, but they work nicely. We got the ankles and of course the little toes for extra push off. That's pretty cool. So yeah, excellent sculpt for this guy. And just in case you wanted to see the trident up close, pretty basic. There's not really any, there's texture, but there's no special painting on it or anything. Very cool though. All right, we've got one more MacFarlane figure for this video. Let me slide on in here. And that's going to be something completely different. This is Disney Mirrorverse. A game that is defunct now. I don't think they do anything with it anymore. But the whole concept was that, you know, you were in a Disney world where people were fractured in a shadow realm and all the characters were forced to become all gritty and harsh and fighting. Woo! So what's cool about this set, this is a 3-figure set. It's from the Gold Label edition again. You have Ariel, my girl, which is the whole reason I got this as a gift. And then you have Fractured Belle and Mulan. But when you open the box, this is where I was very surprised. For whatever reason, they decided to make Ariel an absolute giant, and then the other figures are super tiny, so that's fun. I don't know if that's her relative size in the game, like Shirahoshi in One Piece, or like if that's just the way they decided to make this figure set so it all fit in one little box. So let's take a good look. We're going to start with my girl Ariel because that's the whole reason I have this box. She looks like she's only secured in one spot. All right, so here she is in her soldier attire. She looks really cool. This is a character design for Ariel that I really appreciated, even though I never played Mirrorverse. She's got her hair up in the high pony, which actually has a little bit of flex to it. She's got her crown, her pauldron. She's got her seashell armor. Very cool. We'll take a closer look in a minute. And then she comes with this sea spear. This is cool. I don't know if this blade is very practical, but it's kind of a harpoon, so that's kind of neat. Gives me a little bit of Keyblade vibes like Kingdom Hearts. And then while we're in here, let's free everybody else. So we have Fractured Belle, which means she's all spooky and stuff. Here she is. Very small, very cool. Lots of detail. I do like the MacFarlane figure line for its level of detail. I know price points can be a little high for what you get sometimes, but I do have to say their sculpts are usually pretty detailed and the paint jobs are usually really good. Oh, that's Mulan's. Hold on. Belle comes with a rose sorceress staff. Check that out. That's pretty cool. Thorns and the rose and everything. Very neat. And then we have Mulan in her soldier gear. This is the most boring of the 3 designs, I think, because since she was already a soldier when she was Ping in the movie, it just looks like Ping, except he's no longer pretending to be a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of similar. Yeah, there's extra pieces like the pauldrons and stuff, but very similar to what she already wore. And she gets this big, beefy Cloudbuster style sword. Let's look at them up close. Here's our Ariel up close. She's got those classic oversized Ariel eyes. The crown is made out of like that floppier rubber material, so it has a little flex to it. She's got her bang, which is her signature. Then you see here all of the like shimmer and detail in this, so it looks pearlescent since it's made out of like seashells. She has a lot of articulation for a much simpler figure. You can see here lots of movement in the hands, wrists, elbows, arms. Head doesn't move much. It's very tight on its peg, so I'll probably be leaving it where it's at. Not a lot of bendability here in the waist, but that's okay. She is a mer, so that's kind of going to be expected. The tail is a really, really soft, like rubber, very flexible. Let me see if it's... Yeah, it's got a little bit of bendability to it. I'm sure there's a wire in there somewhere, but yeah, really cool. And then moving on to Belle Fractured. You can see a lot of work went into painting this one. All the trim on the coat. She has slightly less movement and flexibility, but she is much smaller. Like when you look at them comparatively, she's like a third of the size of Ariel, maybe half. The cloak here, if I lift it up, you can see her items pouch. The stitching on the leggings is a nice detail. But yeah, not really. There's no, the knees don't have any kind of articulation or anything. The ankles don't really have any articulation. So these are much simpler, smaller figures, which makes sense for their scale. But still look really good. And then here's our girl Mulan. Same thing, lots of detail. Look at these pauldrons with the double dragons. Very cool. Again, they're not going to have a lot of articulation, but really cool little figure. Definitely neat to have in my collection. Lastly, there is actually a stand for Ariel since she doesn't have legs and, you know, you're never going to stand her on her own. Let's pop this guy out. Let's see. It slides into the base. Cool. And then it's one of those waist grabber stands, I do believe. Aha! Put her in the jaws of life. So we'll just set her, see if I can get her in the stand easy or hard. Let's see. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. And now she can stand. Now she can walk. Now she can run. Now she can fight all day in the sun. Right? Anyway, yeah, so that's it for this little MacFarlane video. We went through a whole bunch of figures, and maybe these are ones you've seen before, maybe they're not, but I enjoy all of them. And I'm looking forward to the next video with you guys.